Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox coming to you today with a new show to review, you guys. I don't know if we'll get 2 seasons of this, but for now, I'm good with the one. This will be the Queens of R&B. That's the reality show that SWV and Escape worked hard at bringing to the screen, you guys, and I think it's going to be a good show. Okay, I know Nene is over there pissed off. I said that Nene probably is like yet another Candy show, okay? And she can't even get back on Real Housewives. I'm sorry, she said she didn't want to come back. I'm sorry. Excuse me. But this is not about Nene, you guys. This is about 2 90s R&B groups, girl groups, that both amassed huge success back in their day. I'm not sure how many albums Escape sold, but Escape did very, very well as well, you guys. You guys know SWV, though, is my group, okay? I didn't even realize that this group was out at the same time. I mean, I knew it was the 90s, but their time that they actually were together paralleled each other quite a bit, and I didn't realize that because I was 100% SWV back in the day. I mean, I liked Escape too, but SWV, there's nothing else I could say other than I loved them, loved their music, know all their music. I only know Escape's hits, but you know, I've grown to really like Escape as they've gotten older and gotten back together. So I think the show is gonna do very, very, very well. So we'll just jump right on to the review, shall we? So apparently the groups go back early 90s, 1991, SWV came on the scene, Escape came on the scene 1992. They ended up breaking up. SWV, I believe, 1999, Escape broke up 1998. And a lot of the similar reasons that they broke up, egos, you know, we've already kind of heard both Escape and SWV's story by now. We always know that there's a best singer in the group. And then, at least when it comes to SWV, Coco was the singer of that group. Those other 2 girls, Taj and Lele, even though we love them, we do love Taj and Lele, but they were, I think the group was, I don't know if this was on purpose. Blue, don't start it. I'm not sure if this was on purpose or not, but Coco was the focus, and kind of the other 2 girls were kind of treated as backup singers. I don't think that that's the way they looked at themselves when they were in the group, you know, that this was a 3-way kind of thing. But I mean, if we was gonna really just keep it 100, okay, even though I don't think Coco could have done it all by herself, the other girls are definitely instrumental in the group, but you know, if we was just gonna go by who was the best singer, I don't think any of them would dispute that Coco was the best singer of the group. When it comes to Escape, their dynamics is even harder because it's more girls. These 4 grew up together. Okay, so they've been knowing each other since they were children. So it was sort of like their thing is more like sister fights. And then when you bring into that ego and again, talent, because we've always said that the Scott sisters were the talent of the group when it came to singing. We know that Candy and Tiny have writing careers. I don't know if they were writing back then, if this was like a so-so dev like Jermaine Dupri, and if he had his team of writers or whatever. I don't really know who was getting writer credit back then, but there definitely was issues, jealousy issues, egos, talent, you know, those kind of things. And again, even though they didn't really bring all this up too much on the show, we've known this from just watching other documentaries and other stories that have been talked, you know, that they've been on where they've talked about the issues and how they were able to come back together. All that being said, I think it's great that everybody was able to come together for this show. And there's just the right amount of drama, at least when it comes to the Escape side. I think that will keep the show entertaining enough, okay? And quite frankly, I've been wanting to see what the hell is the issue with Escape, because, I mean, I get it. There's some things that just are hard to get past, but we is all grown now. They ain't as grown as SWV. They're still about 10 years younger than SWV, but I think some of them now realize that, you know, all of the other petty shit, whatever the problems were, we can still even keep the problems. But when we got to get on that stage and make it happen for the fans, it's so much money to be made out there. And I think that that's what Kandi has always been trying to let the girls know, because Kandi is definitely the business. She's a businesswoman first. So I'm sure them numbers was clicking in her head like, oh shit, we can do this, you know, but we've got to get these personalities to line up. And it is hard. Like Kandi and Tamika had their issues in the past. We know that Tamika said that her and Jermaine Dupri, Kandi and Jermaine Dupri's father were sleeping together, and that's what messed up the group. That's where they had their problems. They was able to finally get past it. Tamika admitted she lied, apologized. And you guys, I think that Escape needs to realize that you need Kandi. And that might be a hard pill to swallow, especially for Tasha, when Kandi said her and Tasha ain't never really got along. Okay, we've all said that Tasha and Tamika were the best singers of the group. But Kandi, they need Kandi because Kandi has popularity from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kandi is the reason why this show got put on Bravo. Kandi is the reason why a lot of things happen for that group. And I think it's probably hard for them to admit, or, you know, for Tasha to admit this because of other things that have happened, you know, that we may not even be privy to. I'm sure it's a whole bunch of shit that's happened, okay? But I kind of feel like deep down inside that there may still be some jealousy issues there, because I think that Tamika finally got on board. Like, yeah, we need Kandi. Kandi is making this happen. Even though, you know, let her take care of the business part of getting us out there, and then we can handle the rest. Like, everybody has their place in these groups. And while I don't know if I expect them to know that when they were younger, like now that they're grown and old, and I mean, not old, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are grown women, business women, you got families and shit to take care of and all this. Let's get to the bag. Let's get to the bag. And all this other shit, y'all can still argue and shit about it, but let's get the feelings out of the way so we can take care of the business, you know? So that was my whole little spiel from the beginning, you guys. I feel like if they can just make that happen, and that's what I guess we'll see on the show this season, then they may be okay. Now, the show opens with, you know, after they explain kind of the dynamics of both of the groups. And SWV has also had drama in the past, but they're not in that space no more, because they have now realized we all need to get to this money, you know, some more than others. Taj has always been good because she has a very successful husband, football player, now a coach and all of that. But everybody can stand to make a few more dollars and put it in their own damn pockets. So, you know, I think SWV is just like, let's just do this. And they gonna let Escape, as their little sisters, you know, that they would call them, like try to help them kind of coach them through this so that we can get to this. So, okay. Now, the show opens. Kandi is in the studio listening to that legs and hips and body. Kandi says she has a whole bunch of music that she just needs to put out. Okay, y'all looking for Kandi's music. Tiny and Tamika. I was meaning Tiny because Tiny's name is Tamika too. That's why we call her Tiny. So they got two Tamikas in the group. So we get Tiny and Tamika. They both join her in the studio. Okay. Let me just say things first. You know, y'all know certain people that I just really, really like. Tiny is one of those people. You can't never say nothing bad about Tiny, y'all. She seems to be such a sweet person, like the genuine article. So I really, 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 really like Tiny. She's a favorite. She's one of them people that I always say that, you know, there's just certain people that I really, really like. She's one of them too. We can put her on the list. But anyway, this is when they kind of tell us about the history of Kandi and the rest of the group. You know, the girls together. Tamika and Kandi used to be close, not so much after they had that big, Tamika kind of went on the rampage and said some false things about her, but now they working it back together. They back together, they fine. Okay, we moving forward. Apparently they had a show in Vegas recently, and the newest fight between the girls is the fact that Candy and Tamika usually share dressing rooms, they've said, and Tiny and Tasha usually share a dressing room. Apparently Candy and Tamika got locked out of their dressing room. Okay. And it was like an hour that went by, and I'm sure they were frustrated. They had a show. They couldn't get to their costumes, the things that they needed to wear. And Tasha was like, oh, well, according to Tamika, Tasha was just like not worried about them, not trying to help it, not trying to resolve it. I don't know what Tasha could have really done, but I think Tamika just felt like she just didn't even care about the fact that two of the group members was not going to be able to get into their costumes for the show. So Tamika, after the gig or whatever, Tamika sent out a text message and just basically was like, for anybody that did not check up on me and Candy, fuck y'all. Y'all can kiss my ass. Well, she didn't say fuck y'all. She said y'all can kiss my ass. Okay. And Tasha must have responded and just was like, you can kiss my ass. That's not her job to be trying to figure out what's going on with y'all in y'all dressing room and all of that, And Tamika responded back to Latasha, if you had an ass to kiss. Okay, so that's what Tiny tells them, that Tasha was mad. The reason why she didn't come down today is because Tasha felt like Tamika was body shaming her. And Tamika was just like, how? Okay, well, the whole if you had an ass to kiss comment. Tiny was just like, well... I can't do my Tiny voice. I've been trying to learn Tiny's voice, but it is so hard to do a Georgia accent. Now, if I got Jada up in here to do these reviews, honey, she wouldn't even have to think twice. I mean, Jada is so Atlanta. Jada is SWATs through and through. But, Tiny was just like, well, she ain't never had no, she don't really have the bubble booty, because she ain't really had no surgery or nothing, So I guess Tasha is maybe a little bit self-conscious about her body, and the fact that Tamika knows that and then says if you don't have, if you had an ass to kiss and all that. Candy was just like, all of this is so damn petty and silly. Candy's bottom line is the bottom line always. Let's get to this fucking bag. Work it out. Call your sister, Tamika. Candy was like, I don't really want to say too much because, they'll be done got back good and then they'll both be blaming me. Candy was just like, honey, I'm going to stay in my place, but y'all better work this shit out because there's money to be made. Now, jumping over to SWV, like I said, they've worked out the kinks and everything, so they get along better than Escape. They're just up there performing for their manager. I'm assuming that's who the manager is. Then they sit down and they talking to him. So he tells them how the Versus was such a huge success, and he thinks that they could actually do a tour together with Escape because the fans seem to want it, and would they be down? And they was like, yeah, definitely will be down. Okay, because they know, even with the 50 to 100 shows that they do every year, traveling all over the world, they know that that's where you make the money, is on these tours. And yes, we all are a little bit older, so maybe we can't pop, lock, and drop it like we used to, but the fans in general still love to pay their money to go see these old school groups to come out and, do their thing. So yeah, they 100% with it. Can we get Escape on? That remains to be seen. Now let's jump over to Tasha. I sometimes feel sorry for Tasha because I feel like Tasha is torn in between trying to remain loyal to her husband and loyal to this group. It's difficult because the group don't like the husband, okay? If they didn't have to deal with Rocky, this is just my observation. It may not be accurate, but it seems like Tasha has Rocky in her ear. As she should. That's her husband, that's her manager. Like, I'm not saying that he shouldn't be there trying to guide her career as well, but I feel like he's been the reason why, not the main reason, but some of the reason why the group can't seem to get past some of the issues, because he is still going to be there. And side note, what happened with the side nigga? I'm sorry, not even a side nigga, the side girl. Like, we found out about the girl and she was supposed to be pregnant and then she said she wasn't. And I mean, I don't know. First she tried to say she didn't do none of that. Then she came back out and said, yes, that was her and she was just hurt. And, you know, I guess Rocky had been promised her certain things and that didn't come into fruition. And she just realized that she had got used and all. And then that story just died away. So it's just like, what happened with all of that? I mean, are we going to address that on the show? I mean, I guess we'll see as well. But her and Rocky been together, she said 27 years. Is that what she said? They haven't been married 21 years. They haven't been married 21 years, but they've been together 21 years. They have a son. And it worked out perfectly when Escape broke up because she was able to be there, you know, for her son, raise her child, and really be there, you know. So she doesn't have any regrets with that. But now the son is grown. You know, he done been to college. He was a good basketball player. I think they're actually hoping that he can get in on a pro team, on an NBA team. You know, and they're both very proud of their kid. So now that she's done her job as being a mom for her son, okay, now maybe she can get back to this Escape situation, maybe go on tour. However, her and Tamika ain't getting along. And she was just like, it's going to be hard trying to get in this tour, you know, when me and Tamika ain't even talking. So, you know, there's that. Now let's jump over to Tiny. Okay, now Tiny and her family are definitely comfortable with being in front of the camera. You know, they did, you know, T.I. and Tiny show for many years. And so, you know, this is probably normal for them. She says that she has 7 kids, 4 are grown and gone, but she still has her 3 youngest ones, you know, and definitely little Eris is one of our favorites, you guys. She's such a sweet, talented girl. That girl is going to sing. We don't even have to discuss. Everybody knows that girl is going to be on somebody's stage eventually, okay? Actually, they have some talented kids. I know that, you know, some of their kids have been out there in the social media and not the most favorable way. But one thing you could say is them kids is talented. You know, the one kid plays the guitar and then the other girl sings, who used to be with OMG. I can't even think of her name right now, but y'all know who I'm talking about. She's grown. And then little Eris. I think one of them other ones that stay in trouble, one of the younger ones that stay in trouble, I think he raps, you know, so I was just like, you know, these kids, yeah, they're a talented family. I mean, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but I just wanted to shout out the kids. She's been with T.I. 21 years. Latasha has been with Rocky 27 years. Okay, so let me just make that clear as well. But she said that she's been with T.I. 21 years, some good years, some bad years. We know the good and we know the bad, okay? That's it on Tiny's family. We see Tamika. Now, Tamika has always maintained that she loves her teddy bear husband. She said that for years. I don't even really know Tamika or her husband life like that, but I know every time I've seen that woman talk about her man, it's always been how much she loves him and everything. Apparently he is a bodyguard for New Edition amongst other groups. So, you know, he's a big buff type guy. They have 3 kids together. They've been together for a long time. I don't know how long it was, but she said they got a Kevin Costner, Whitney Houston, and the bodyguard thing going on there. And she told us how she finally realized how much she loved him and went over to the house and took all her clothes off. I was like, girl, that could have turned out bad. I mean, although I don't know many men that's going to turn down some ass that's in their face. But yeah, so they've been together ever since. And, you know, she tells us that, yes, it is aggravating trying to talk business with Tasha and the group when they're not speaking. And, you know, this tour thing has been put on the table for both of the groups. Everybody wants to do it, but how we going to do it? Well, let's get all the girls together, okay? So Tosh has found this sort of like event space where they can have some tables set up and they can have dinner maybe catered, or maybe it was a restaurant. I'm not sure where it was. But both of the groups are going to come there and we're going to see what we can do. Okay. So Taj is there, then Tiny gets there. They're talking. She's excited. She wants this collaboration tour to happen. Candy ends up being there at some point, and we didn't see when Candy walked in, but we did see when Tasha walks in. And Candy was just like, me and Tasha are like oil and water. We just like, we don't never really talk outside of the group. But that's okay. I mean, it's too bad it got to be that way after however many years. I mean, y'all been friends since you was 13, 14, 15 years old and everything. But I mean, hell, sometimes that's just how it is. People don't jail. But we get this music right. Tasha comes in, you know, she's a little, I mean, you know, she greets everybody, but she's a little frigid, okay? Tamika and Tasha obviously are not really talking. So when Tamika gets there, you know, it's not no hugs and none of that. So it's uncomfortable to say the least. And then we get Coco and Lily there. Okay, so we got both of the groups, all the girls there. All right, so let's talk about this tour that maybe we can do. Okay, if we do this, then, you know, we gonna have to work out the logistics. We got to have one band. They were like, one band? Yeah, one band. Like, we can't have all, I mean, that's too many people we trying to pay to be having two bands and, you know, so we're going to have one band. We're going to have one set of dancers. They're going to have to dance for both of us. We're going to have one DJ. They was like, one DJ? Yeah, everybody needs to share the same person. It ain't no sense in us paying all this extra money for, you know, some shit that can just be done with one. So everybody is throwing in their, you know, their opinions. Tamika was like, I want it to be a full production. Like, you know, I want us to, you know, be sharing the stage, and maybe Candy and Coco might be on the stage together. And then somebody come out from underneath the stage, and, you know, like she wants this whole big production. And so everybody was like, oh yeah, that'll be dope or whatever, except Tasha just kind of sitting over there like this. And so Taj notices, and she was just like, what's the matter? You know, she mouthed it to her. And then Tasha was like, huh? And she was just like, what's wrong? You know, you just look like something's, you're upset. And Tasha was just like, well, we just, you know, I'm not excited about this. We got a lot of internal issues that we need to work out. It's about peace and communication. And they don't have neither one of those in the group right now. So, you know, Candy, of course, rolls her eyes. And SWV is like, look, y'all like our little sisters, even though we just 10 years older than y'all or something. But we done been through this. All right, so we totally understand what the problem is, but what we trying to tell you is you are too important to the culture for shit to get messed up just because everybody in their damn feelings. You know, Tiny was just like, well, we gonna work on it and then we gonna go on the tour. That's not right, y'all. And Tasha was like, I don't want to go on tour. I was like, oh. I mean, it's 4 people in the group. We don't really need Tasha, but I feel like the group is best when they are all together. And that's not even the right statement. We do need Tasha. We need her to be there. They can handle it without her, but the group is so much better when everybody is able to sing their parts and you ain't got Candy trying to do somebody else's shit and, you know, Tamika having to do something. It's like, let everybody have their space. We need Tasha. Okay, so y'all figure this shit out. Tasha, do you want it to work out? And she says yes. Well, then y'all gonna have to take the personal out of it. Just get rid of the internal bullshit. And that's why I say that I still think that deep down inside there are some deep-rooted jealousy type issues there. And I don't think everybody has come around to them feelings just yet. So while Escape is trying to figure out they shit, we see SWV, they go to Johannesburg, Africa, because some rich dude has offered them 6.5 figures to come and perform for their 50th birthday party. So they went out there to handle that. We see Candy at home with the kids. You guys, now y'all know Candy's kids is my favorite. No, Little Ace is my favorite reality. Between Little Ace and Giselle's daughters, my favorite kids on reality TV, 100%. But Candy is home with the kids. I thought that it would be nice if we made pizzas. Okay, if the kids and Todd, you know, family night, let them make the pizza since they usually have pizza on Friday night, and I'm assuming it's a Friday. So after they do their little pizzas and, you know, Todd is like, good Good job, Blaze. Your pizza looks the best out of everybody's. The kids are so cute. You know, they send the kids off so that Todd and Candy can talk. So Candy is telling them about the tour, okay? But I don't know what it is, but our group just cannot get it together. Now Tamika and Tasha not getting along. And that's a major issue because they're sisters. And so Candy kind of tries to explain how, like, it has been in the past, like when they were younger. Tamika, I didn't realize Tamika was younger than Tasha. I thought it was the other way around, but apparently Tamika was like trying to always please Tasha. Whatever Tasha wanted, whatever Tasha said, Tamika went on along with it. Well, now Tamika's grown. Tamika got her own opinions. Tamika's making her own decisions, and she ain't gonna be the yes woman for Tasha no more. And Todd was just like, well, you know, babe, it's a whole bunch of issues and egos, and yeah, maybe the group need to go to therapy, okay? And I was like, yeah, they probably could stand. I mean, everybody could stand and do it, at least one session in a counselor session. I don't know, maybe we'll see. I think escape issues are so way more nuanced because they've known each other longer. There's family that's involved. I mean, those girls to me probably are more like sisters than SWV are, you know? And so it makes things very different and harder when there's emotions that are involved like this. Not to say that SWV hasn't had their share of shit too, but I think the dynamics might be just a little bit different. Now, let's jump over to Tasha and Tamika going over to the mom's house. The mom has decided that she wants her girls to come over so that they can try to settle whatever this is that Tasha and Tamika got going on. We all need to learn how to communicate better with each other. Now, Tamika says she loves her mama to death. She do. But when it comes to Tasha, you know, it's hard because Tasha's always been the favorite. You know, us kids, we always know who the damn favorite is, even if the parents will never say that, right? So she's always felt that Tasha was the favorite, and it's been harder for Tamika in certain ways in the family. So that's what we own kind of today. So once everybody gets there, you know, when Tamika gets there with, I'm assuming that was her daughter, you know, everybody's happy to see the daughter. We get the daughter hugs and everything. Tamika hugs her mama. And then when she goes up to Tasha tries to give her a hug, and she was just like, oh, we hugging now? She was just like, we all, you know, I always hug you, you know, we family. And oh, really? Okay. Flashback to the meeting with SWV. You didn't even barely say hello. But I mean, I guess Tamika probably felt like that was for the mother. Anyway, we're going to sit down. Let's get to the issue. Well, the issue today is about the trip to Vegas and how the girls was locked out and how Tasha just acted like she didn't care. Tamika was like, she got up, she walked right on by us, didn't say nothing, knowing that we was already frustrated about not being able to get into our dressing room and all that. I mean, she didn't even act like she cared. Okay, so after she did this whole demonstration, which I think was so that we can look at her big ass booty, that Tamika's butt is a whole nother size, okay? But when she sat down, her mom was like, you deserve an Academy Award. And she was just like, what? I wasn't acting. I'm telling you what happened. Tasha agrees that Tamika be doing too much, 20 on 10. And Tamika's point was like, well, I still would have made sure that you was good, okay? Tasha tells her that she body shamed her. And she was just like, how did I body shame you? Okay, and you said, well, if I had an ass to kiss. So then Tasha goes on to tell us how difficult it's been for her in the industry because she was known as the big girl in the group. And, you know, if we was going to be 100 and try to be fair, I think that it was hard for all of the girls in the group. I can remember very clearly back in the 90s when Biggie talked about him being ugly. And, you know, when it wasn't just Tasha that we was pointing out. Okay, they talked about them girls bad, and them girls had to prove themselves that the talent was there. And, you know, once they got out of that tomboy, big baggy clothes thing, and people started to look at them differently when they started to dress differently, that was something, you know, they sexualized their image up a little bit. But it wasn't easy for none of them. Not trying to diminish what Tasha says about, because if she felt like that, she felt like that. But I'm saying they talk bad about Candy, Tiny, Tamika, and Tasha. But, you know, certain people hold on. Certain things what affect me might not affect the next person. So, I mean, that's just how Tasha feels. So the mama was like, listen, you guys, we are all family. And Tamika was like, oh, we family now? And Tasha was just like, we always gonna be family. You know, I can't help that. And so Tamika was just like, oh, so you can't help that. So you just, you know, now Tamika's offended by what Tasha said. And the mom was like, what is wrong with you? Why are you going off on her? She's like, you didn't just hear her say that we are family. She couldn't help that. And the mom was like, what's so wrong with that? And Tamika was just like, that shit was shady. Like, you don't think that, like, you know, so that's why Tamika was just like, when it comes to Tasha, the mama always side with Tasha. Okay, if the mama don't 100% flat out just agree with Tasha, she ain't gonna say nothing like she's saying now. Because when her and Tasha start going back and forth and the mama's just sitting there looking, that's when we get to the point where Tamika tells us that Tasha and Rocky stole her money. So apparently back in the day, she was supposed to be getting royalties for some of their music. She wasn't getting her checks. And when she finally did the research and tried to figure out where her royalty checks were, well, apparently they was being sent to Tasha and Rocky, and they cashed a check, some $30,000 worth. So yeah, bitch, I'm gonna be mad about that too, okay? And so Tamika was just like, y'all stole my money. And Tasha was like, we ain't stole none of your money. And she was just like, oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. And are you denying it? Because I still got the paperwork. You know, she was just like, yeah, you can still go to jail over. So anyway, they get to arguing about that. And finally, the mama was just like, okay, you're going to have to cut these cameras off and you're going to have to get the hell out of my house. One or the other. The mama was like, I didn't know all this was about to go down. We were supposed to just be talking about Vegas now. So the mom tries to put the crew out. But, you know, even though it's going to be entertaining, I still feel really bad that Tamika and Tasha are where they are, that the group is the way that they are. The fans are so excited about seeing them get back together, and then they have to go through this shit. And it seemed like Escape just stay in it. So, child, I just hope that they can work it out. I hope they can. All right, you guys, that is it. Child, it's been a long day of reviews today. I think this probably might not make it up till Tuesday. Y'all probably will just get Real Housewives of Atlanta today, and that's it. Potomac, I should say. But let me get on off of here. Make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.